The greatness of Solomon's wisdom. The Lord gave discernment to Solomon, exceedingly great wisdom and a heart as broad as the sand beside the sea. Thus Solomon increased beyond the understanding of all the ancient men, even beyond all the learned men of Egypt, and he was made wise beyond every man. He was even made wise beyond Ethan, the Ezrahite, and Herman and Chalcol and Darda, the sons of Mahal. Solomon spoke 3,000 parables, and there were 5,000 of his songs. He spoke about wood from the cedars in Lebanon, and the hyssop that grows out through the wall, and he spoke about cattle, birds, reptiles, and fish. So all the people came to hear Solomon's wisdom, and he received gifts from all the kings of the earth who heard his wisdom. Solomon takes a wife. Solomon took the daughter of Pharaoh for his wife, and he brought her into the city of David until he completed the house of the Lord, and his own house and the walls of Jerusalem. Then Pharaoh the king of Egypt went up and conquered Gezer and burned it, along with the Canaanites who were living in Mergab, and Pharaoh gave letters to his daughter, the wife of Solomon, and Solomon rebuilt Gezer. Notes from the previous page. 3:1-3 This passage speaks prophetically to our times. Solomon loved the Lord, yet because there was no house built, no temple, the king and his subjects burned incense on the high places, that is, to false gods. Today, there are those who say they love Christ but stay outside the church, and their destiny is to lapse into error. 3:4 The Lord who appeared to Solomon was the Son of God, for he is the Word of God the Father. 3:9-13 Solomon did not ask for long life, or riches, or the life of his enemies, for such things are of this world. Therefore, God readily heard his prayer, John Chr. Rather, he asked for virtues such as understanding and judgment, which belong to the crown of the virtues. These virtues enable one to discern both good and evil, Hebrews 5:13-14. 3:27 Wisdom and justice go together, for there cannot be one without the other, AMBM. Preparation for building the temple. Now Hiram king of Tyre sent his servants to anoint Solomon in place of his father David, because Hiram had always loved David. Then Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, You know how my father David could not build a house for the name of the Lord his God because of the wars that were fought against him on every side, until the Lord put his foes under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God has given me rest on every side. There is neither adversary nor evil occurrence. Behold, I propose to build a house for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spoke to my father David, saying, Your son, whom I will set on your throne in your place, he shall build the house for my name. Now therefore, command them to cut down cedars for me from Lebanon. My servants will be with your servants, and I will pay you wages for your servants, according to whatever you say, because you know we have no one who knows how to cut timber like the Sidonians. So when Hiram heard Solomon's words, he rejoiced greatly and said, Blessed be the Lord today, who gave David a wise son over this great people. Then he sent to Solomon, saying, I have heard the message you sent me, and I will do everything you desire. Concerning the cedar and pine logs, my servants shall bring them down from Lebanon to the sea, I will float them in rafts by sea to the place you indicate to me, and will have them broken apart there, then you can take them away. You shall fulfill my desire by giving food for my household. Then Hiram gave Solomon cedar logs and everything he wished. Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat as food for his household, and 20 baths of pure olive oil. Solomon gave this to Hiram every year. So the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he had promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a treaty together. Then the king raised up a labor force out of all Israel, and the labor force was 30,000 men. He sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month in shifts. They were in Lebanon for 1 month, and at home for 2 months, and Adoniram was in charge of the labor force. Solomon had 70,000 who carried burdens, and 80,000 who quarried stone in the mountain, with an additional 3,600 from the chiefs of Solomon's deputies, who supervised the people who labored in the work. They prepared the stones and the trees in 3 years. Solomon constructs the temple. In the 440th year after the children of Israel came out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the 2nd month, the king issued a command, and they put great costly stones into the foundation of the house. These stones were not touched by an axe. The sons of Solomon cut them, and the sons of Hiram placed them. In the 4th year, he laid the foundation of the Lord's house in the month Nisan, the 2nd month. In the 11th year, in the month Bul, that is, the 8th month, the house was completed according to his every word and his every mandate. Now the house King Solomon built for the Lord was 60 cubits in length, 20 cubits wide, and 25 cubits high. The vestibule in front of the sanctuary of the house was 20 cubits long across the width of the house, and the width of the vestibule extended 10 cubits from the front of the house. He built the house and completed it. He made hidden windows from which to look from the house. Against the wall of the temple, he placed beams all around against the walls of the temple, and all around the sanctuary and inner sanctuary. He also made side chambers all around it. The lowest side chamber was 5 cubits wide, the middle was 6 cubits wide, and the third was 7 cubits wide, for he made a space around the outside of the temple, so the support beams would not be fastened into the walls of the temple. When the temple was being built, it was built with stones finished at the quarry, so no hammer or axe or any iron tool was heard in the temple while it was being built. The doorway for the lower side chamber was on the right side of the temple. They went up by spiraled stairs to the middle story, and from the middle to the third. So he built the temple and finished it, and he gave the temple a ceiling with beams and boards of cedar. He built the bonding of the superstructure to the foundation throughout the entire temple, each 5 cubits high. They were attached to the temple with cedar beams. The Holy of Holies. Then he framed the inside walls of the temple with cedar boards. From the floor of the temple to the ceiling, he paneled the inside with wood, holding it together with wood from within, and he covered the floor of the temple with planks of pine. Then he built the 20-cubit room at the rear of the temple, from floor to ceiling beams, with cedar boards. He built it inside as the inner sanctuary, as the Holy of Holies. The temple sanctuary was 40 cubits long in front. He prepared the inner sanctuary inside the temple to set the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord there. The inner sanctuary was 20 cubits long, 20 cubits wide, and 20 cubits high. He overlaid it with pure gold, and made an altar at the front of the shrine, and he overlaid it with pure gold. He overlaid the whole temple with gold until he finished gilding the whole temple.